Can y'all believe I have never tried this brand? You know I love indie makeup down. You know I try a lot of brands, give a lot of brands shots, and I literally have never tried this brand. And it's like been no hard feelings. I just have never had a chance to try them. But now I have, and I'm in love. So let's go ahead and start with the video. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So you heard it correct. I have never tried Bella Beaute Bar. Oh my gosh. And I've been wanting to try them for so long, but then, you know, it's one of those things. Like, they're always releasing, I feel like, things around other indie brands, and I pick that particular release over that particular release. And sometimes I'm like, oh, the color story doesn't, you know, really speak to me, so I'm going to hold off. And you look up and you've never tried the brand. So now I can say I've tried Bella Beaute Bar. I have the beautiful collab palette here with Noopur makeup and Bella Beaute Bar. And this is the Coalescence palette. So let's go ahead. Let me go ahead and introduce myself, because you know I'm super carried away. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. But please just call me Ash or Ashley, and just, yeah. I'm stunned, but I'm stunned in a good way. Okay, so I actually got a chance to meet Noopur on the Creators and Friends trip, and she is so freaking stunning in real life. Not that she's not on camera, but you know how you see people and you see them in real life, you're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And for me, I always thought that she was tall. I was like, girl, that way you take your photos, the angle, like, it gives tall, plus the hair that's gorgeous and big and beautiful and full of life. Like, you are a little short petite thing. Like, I'm only 5'2", 5'3". I think she might be about 5'1". She might be a little bit shorter than me. But she has created a stunning palette. I have been following her Instagram page for so long. Love how she takes her photography. Loves how she does her reels. I love, like, the color combinations that she puts together. She shows the shifts. It's amazing. So I knew once I saw that she was coming out with a collab and with this brand, like, oh, this is the perfect time to try. Now, this palette did launch at the very beginning, or really actually the very end of August. I got to me as I was leaving. Like, the day I got to the Catskills, New York for the Creators and Friends trip is the day my palette arrived. And I was so salty because I was like, I just want to take it with me, you know? So here is the gorgeous palette, and it is still available. Now, she had some singles that released with this palette, and they are sold out. They are on a pre-order. Like, those singles look freaking gorgeous. It was about 3 or 4 singles. But here's the palette in all its glory. And it's definitely kind of fitting with the color scheme that you have seen this season, the purples and the greens. And you know I love me some purple and green colors, some Barney colors, which is kind of crazy right now if you've been following the Cardi B and Nicki Minaj drama where she calls her Barney B. But anyway, yikes. Okay, Nicki just ain't beating the mean girl allegations. I digress. Back to this gorgeous palette. So, with so many color stories, so many palettes, so many brands, I think they all got together and was like, purple and green, that's the color scheme. And I love it, but I'm like, whoo, okay. So, at the end, I kind of break down like a couple of the ones that I think that you should really purchase. And spoiler alert, I really like this palette. So, for my first time trying this brand, I had a really good impression. The processing time was really easy. Purchasing the palette was super easy. There's so many codes floating around that you can use. I actually used Noopur's code, and like, it was just a great experience. It got the package really fast, tracking. Of course, I kind of link everything to the shop app. Now, at this point, the palette does retail for $69. So I'm not going to do too much talking. I have 3 looks for you. I'm actually talking through the first 2 looks. And of course, we're going to talk about how I feel about them in between. And we're going to wrap up with one last look and final thoughts at the end. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right, let's get started. Eyebrows, you know, they're already filled in using my Goof Proof pencil, shade 3.75. I went in with my usual paint primer or paint pot by MAC Cosmetics. This is in the shade Contemplative State. You already know it. I love it because it just grips eyeshadows amazing, keeps the longevity, doesn't do the creasing, and it's the perfect shade for my complexion. It just gives me a nice blank canvas, and you know, you don't see that like that white cast showing through like you see with some primers. All right, so I did this look on the way to work the other day, and I said I definitely want to go ahead and recreate it here. So I'm going in with Singe Beauty E03, and I have some more Singe Beauty brushes and some more refer brushes that I got at the Creators and Friends event, and she's sending me her new collection, the Paisley Hoot. I'm very excited. But back to this beauty right here. I got to see Noopur make so many gorgeous looks with this palette, and I got a chance to see it. My palette actually arrived the day that we got to the Catskills. So the first shade I'm going in with is Bayou, and this is a gray matte, and you already know. You know how I feel about the gray matte, so I'm just going to, you know, throw that in the crease. I'm just going to blend it back and forth until it is smooth. And yeah, I mean, this is, like I said, this is my first time trying Bella Beaute Bar, but so far I am liking one or two, maybe one. Okay, I've had a good makeup week. So I have been using my palettes. You know, a lot of the palettes right now have a lot of the same color stories. So hers was kind of like first out there. But I promise you, you can do so many looks with this palette. I mean, the options are just kind of endless when it comes to this. So now that that is blended out, I am happy with how it looks. And then I went in on the same brush. I'm going to take a little bit of Chaos, which is this lovely green right here. And I just threw a little bit right here. And it just like, look how it kind of just changed the hue. It blends so in. One thing I can say is that the mattes are really nice. I'm not having any trouble blending them out. And they are staying true to tone, which I definitely appreciate it. In between like swatching the color or putting different colors on my brush, I just have like my usual microfiber towel right here. And because I'm not going to work, I'm just going to amp up the look a little bit more, you know, versus I think I have the green kind of like this, but look at that. I'm just going to give it a little bit more since I'm not going to work, and I can have like a bolder look, you know? And I'm gonna jump right back in once again with the gray shade. Okay, let's get my hand out of the shadow. Jesus, I'm about to mess up my purple shade at the top. You know, I cannot be trusted to hold a palette in my hand. Like, why? And I'm just gonna go back in and tighten that blending up, you know. Kind of like a cereal blender, you know. The foundation got to be right. So love how that looks. Now I'm just going to jump in with the shade Decay. Decay is here on the bottom. A nice kind of like hunter, foresty, muted green. Really enjoy this shade. You know, I'm here for all the greens. But like I said, it's a lot. It's been out this season already. I'm like, whoo, okay. So I'm just gonna go ahead, pop that into the outer V. And I'm not gonna pull it up too much into the crease, but I am gonna put it like in that little fold area right there. And it's just gonna kind of work this shadow back and forth. And just kind of, I decided for this, I'm just gonna kind of wing it out just a little bit. Now I was asking Noopur, like, does she use a glitter glue with the shimmers? And she said no, she doesn't, because a lot of times they can make it too thick. I am a glitter glue girly. I use the, what is this, the next one. It just helps with the longevity. I also have a little bit of creasing that can happen right there, you know. I'm a little older than her, quite a bit. But it also, the type of lids I have, they're kind of oily. Like the rest of my skin is dry, but a little oily. So I'm just gonna go in with a tiny bit of glitter glue, not much, and I'm just gonna do a thin layer in there. But I asked her, I was like, okay, do you do a glitter glue? And she said no, she doesn't, because she said sometimes it just makes it too thick. And I'm just really impressed like how she does her shadows. I've always really liked her work and how she captures the shifts really nicely when she does her makeup. And you know, she kind of just like, the whole point of the palette is kind of like changing shifts. Like one shadow can kind of look like a bunch of different shadows or a bunch of different color exchanges. So now I'm gonna go over balance. This shade really surprised me when I swatched it. I said, oh man. Because when I looked at it, it kind of looked like, I don't know. Okay, just go with me. It kind of looked like that blue-brown shade that we see a lot. The texture looked very familiar. We kind of see this shade, I feel like, quite a bit, but it's different because this is like purpley and mint and green versus like that standard. I mean, you see it's teal. Like, I'm here for this shade. I think it's really pretty. I just like the purple flecks in it, and I don't know, for some reason I have just kind of gotten away from like traditional teal shimmers. I like them. It was like a go-to shade of mine back in the day. Like, you know, what was it? Those MAC shades. What was it? Let me pull. So I love how this looks. I kept it sheer right in there, and you just see it's just effortlessly beautiful. Okay. I'm gonna pack it on. Oh, you guys see my nails? Thank you. Okay, so I have become a press-on nail girly. I love them. I have all different types of sets. I get mine from Shein. Okay, I was looking for my little flat definer brush by Sonia G to hit this inner corner, but I usually get mine from Shein. I stick with like the 10-piece handmade nails, generally because they have like all the fun sets and they're just a better quality nail. Like this kind of gives, if you can see, that like I went to the shop. And I do plan on doing a video of how I put my press-ons on. I use acrylic, and I got that from somebody here on the YouTube, okay? You know, I was like, okay, the glue is not working out for me, so I went to YouTube University, you know, and looked up like other ways to put on my press-on nails. Game changer. Game changer. When I want to change out my nails, I can do it. I can usually get like 1 to 2 weeks wear out of my nails. Sometimes one, I'm like, when I only get 1 week, I'm like, what happened here? I didn't apply them that well. But I can get, and which is important because I do a lot with my hands, especially at work and stuff, and my little, this side hustle and my other side hustle, so I'm using my hands a lot. So lots of opportunity for my nails to pop off. But they don't, and I just love it so much. And you know, we'll get into another day at the nail shop. It just becomes a bad experience, so I'm not just going to get pedicures. I'm gonna jump right back in with the shade Decay, and just wanted to make it a little bit deeper right in there. Okay, so look number 1 is done. All right, for the next look, I'm going in with my Glaminatrix E01. Been loving these brushes as well, and I am going to take the shade Sprout. I'm thinking, yeah, I think I'm gonna go here with it. So, okay, I am using a brush that's not as tightly packed, so it is kind of dispersing the color, and I don't know where I'm going for this look, so I think I'm okay with that. So if you want the color to be denser, definitely go in with a tighter packed brush, but it is picking up very nicely. So I'm just gonna pop that into the transition area. Now, I wiped that brush off. I actually wanna pop in with the shade Libra, because that's a really pretty bright purple shade. I just really like purples like this. And I'm just going to pop it here. And this particular side, I'm just going to kind of stamp it in more so that it is just definitely, oh man, that looks nice. I'm really into purple shades like that. This definitely kind of reminds me of, what is one of the amethyst shades? It's a matte also. It's in the Broken Jewels palette by Dede Signature. So pretty. The mattes in here are blending so gorgeously. Okay, speaking of Dede Signature, right? So she sent me a PR package of the new release, the Rooted palette. I got a notification on Shop while I was at work that it was delivered, and UPS decided Like normally they ring the bell. I don't know who they contacted, but the bells ring to our cell phone. Let's see. Let's go off dusk. So I don't know who they contacted, but they got as far as in the gate. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe they just threw it over. But they for sure didn't ring my bell. And I get home at like 11:30 at night after getting off at work last night. And I'm like, okay, let me grab my package. Nope, not in the little mailroom area. Sometimes people put it like right in front of my door. Nope. It's like, okay, let me go ahead and check the other side of the building because there's another access and sometimes the package is over there. Nope. Check the app. Going in and just gonna beef up this blending. Oh, that blends together nice. So you can see, it's like, you can see the definition of color that I always kind of look for. It's not looking muddy. Okay. That's good. And so I pull up the picture. My package and two other people's packages are just, you know, thrown inside the gate, but close enough to the gate that if somebody walks through or if maybe they can hop over. I don't know, the gate is really tall, but there's some athletes out here, okay? You know, people who do bad, they will find a way. And they stole my package. I'm very, very sad. So I'm gonna go back in one more time with Sprout. Very sad, very irritated. I hate a thief. Like, oh my God, I hate a thief. So, but she is so graciously going to send me another one, but it's just upsetting. And then she's like a small business, you know? So, but she's graciously going to send me another one. So that I am most appreciative of. Okay, so I'm going to take the shimmer gel right here. Really, really pretty. You see that? And I am going to pop in, of course, with the little glitter glue. And I like to put my glitter glue on these little concealer brushes, because this one's dirty. I mean, honestly, it kind of picks up some of the shadow and the glue, you know, from the glue. But I like to use these brushes because it's very easy to lay down the glue and easy to wash. And this is the concealer. This is the F75 by Sigma. So of course we got my combos going on that I love so much. Ooh, this is a pretty color. I am going to layer. So now I am going to grab, before that glue dries, a little bit of Harmony, and I am going to, I don't know, I'm going to use my Sonia G, and I'm going to pop it up here. This shade right here, I almost took Balance because I feel like it would be a good color, but I'm going to take a tiny bit of Flora, and I'm going to just pop that in the inner corner. And this is just a nice, beautiful, like standard sparkly shimmer. Oh, and it blends in well with the two shades. But yeah, it gives like some impact. It lets you know like there is something else here. Okay, so do the rest of my face. I'll be right back. All right, I am back, and here is the final look for the first two looks, and I am feeling good. I am feeling myself, okay? Like, literally, these are so freaking beautiful. And see what I mean? Like, it just, I was like, I have to bring this look onto camera. It is so freaking gorgeous. It's teal, it's green, it has the murkiness, it has the shine, it has the whimsical. It's good. So for this particular look, I went ahead and when I went to work, I didn't use this particular eyeliner, but I did go in with Zulu. This is the Colourpop liner. I put it right here on the inner corner, and then I wrapped it around with this tropical green liner from NYX, just to kind of like, you know, I like to anchor my look so it can have some depth and dimension on the outer part of the look. And then for this particular eye, I went ahead and did a little contrast. You know, I usually love to use my purple pencil, but I thought that this burgundy would be a nice contrast with this look. And this is the Alkaline pencil by Urban Decay. This is the 24/7. So for my face details, I have been actually going back into my Urban Decay Face Bomb foundation in the shade 26. I love this foundation. Look, okay, I'm using it up. It gives every day, and it also gives glam. I love it, okay? And I went in with my e.l.f. Camo bronzer slash contour, and this is the shade Medium Intense. Went ahead and took my Pat McGrath blush in the shade Lovestruck, and it's kind of like a pinky purple blush. I felt like it would look perfect for this look. And I actually just recently got a Fenty Beauty lip liner. She had a little sale on her site because I wanted to get that new shade. I can't remember it. I'll put it on the screen. It's a new shade that she just recently launched, and it's only available at Ulta. And I wanted to get it, and the Ultas didn't have it. And they've also been closing a lot of Ultas yes, I don't know. Like the two nearest Ultas by me have closed, but the one by work is like on and popping, but they were out of stock. So I went ahead and ordered it from her website, which was actually kind of better because she had a sale. So I went ahead and grabbed the lip liner too. And this is the shade, these are the Trace Style lip liners in the shade Riri. So I felt like it was beautiful. And I don't know why, but when I was listening to Angie's video, she was taking Angelica Nyquist with her Cinch Beauty release, and she knows she's doing lip liners. And she was talking about she's been wearing the lip liner all over his lipstick. And I was like, why have I never done that? Like, why? Like, I've come darn near close by like filling in so much and just leaving it. But why? Because you can kind of get like different shades, you know? I don't know. But I filled in my lips using this, and this lip liner is really nice. You know, it is really creamy. It is something that you can actually go ahead and fill the whole lips in and not tug and pull on your lips. I did have on my Fenty Push Pudding gloss mask or whatever. I had that on, and I swear by that, I've gone through so many tubes. It keeps my lips super hydrated and keeps them from like peeling and doing all types of weird, funky, crusty things that I don't like. And then I went in with a little bit of Fenty Glow in the center just to give it that shine. So I am loving the look. You kind of heard my thoughts as I was doing the palette, or creating the looks rather, because I talked through these looks. But as you know, everything just blended so well. Oh, I also have on my brown lashes by Decay, the brown cat eyelashes. You know, I love them so much because they give drama and not too much drama at the same time. But I just love how these looks came out. I'm super impressed. I didn't actually think I wasn't going to be not impressed with Bella Beaute Bar. I just hadn't purchased them from them before. So, you know, it's always new and interesting to try out different formulas and different shades and, you know, the whole works when it comes with a new brand. So I am absolutely in love. Like, the looks are gorgeous. You know, I love a green and a purple look though. So I love the combo together. So even though these are a little bit more monochromatic in nature. So, but let's go ahead and let's do one more look. Final look, and I feel like it just came out so gorgeous, and it's a little bit different. It's fiery, it's kind of bold, it's giving fall at the same time with the burgundies, and I just love that little shimmer. That shimmer can just kind of transform any look, and that is the shade Balance. So as you can see on this particular look, it kind of looks more turquoise when you layer it over Aries and when you layer it over Bohemian. And let me tell you, this little magic together right here is just, it's really good. So for this particular look, I kind of took a little inspiration from Noopur herself because she does a lot of looks where she kind of layers the shadows, like the mattes, down and then puts the shimmers over so they kind of peek through. So you have several different shifts going through. So for this particular look, I did not use the glitter glue because I wanted the sparkles to kind of be a little bit light and not as opaque. And I wanted you to see the base shade, which is the matte shade underneath, which is really pretty. That's the shade Aries, that beautiful, beautiful burgundy shade. I mean, it blended so well. As you can see, I used a big fluffy brush. I was able to kind of like pack it on really easy and blend it out into the shade Bohemian. And that is a nice shade also where you can kind of make the looks look a little bit more neutral if you wanted to kind of lean a little bit more brown versus going into the green or the gray territory or the or purple. Yes, so that is like a little bit more of a neutral shade. So what I would say about this palette, you can get some neutral looks for sure. Of course, it's going to be definitely more burgundy and gray and green and all of those type of things in between. But if you take Bohemian and then you also have this particular shade right here. I did not get a chance to use it, but it's a really nice goldeny kind of green shade, the Sonnets. And then Flora, of course, kind of like our typical, it's kind of like a rose gold, bronzy rose gold, really pretty. And then this one is just like a straight up beautiful, just classic shimmer fauna that's really nice. It's going to lay on the eyes really nice, not give a lot of texture. I was like, I can't get it out. So overall, I feel like she did such a great job on this palette, and I feel like the looks are endless. Of course, if you don't know where to go, when you look at the palette, it is in nice little quads. You have one here, 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 and here. And you can kind of just split the palette down the middle, going vertical and kind of going horizontal and get two unique color stories. And so if you don't know where to follow, and of course, you know me, I love to kind of like mix and match to show the endless possibilities. But I'm so excited about how this turned out, and I will be purchasing more for Bella Beaute Bar. I know they just have the new release that is coming out. It's kind of, what is it, the dark, let's see, because you know I will like make my own name to a palette. I don't mean any harm, but you know, it's the dark Dreamscape. Now that one is really pretty, but it's very purple heavy, and seeing that there have been so many purple and green releases right now, I'm like a little bit like, whew, let's pump the brakes. Okay, so speaking of all the purple and green releases, I kind of mentioned this a little bit before. This one I would definitely highly recommend. It is still available. I don't know how long it will be available. I'm sure until the demand kind of wears off, but I feel like it's a really fabulous palette and color story. And I knew once I saw the color story and once I saw who the collab was with, I knew I wanted to go ahead and purchase this palette. Now, for some more green options kind of in the realm, because there's been so many releases lately. Yeah, it's like, let me bring my little basket up here. It's so much happening here. But I would definitely recommend the Nomad palette. I do have a code with Nomad. It's Dr. Ash. It's not affiliated. This is the Pacific Northwest. So kind of in the purple and the green realm, kind of falling into all the colors and the feels of this palette of the season that we've been seeing with the fall palette. I highly recommend this one because I know like the economy is tough. You can't purchase them all. That is definitely an issue. And you know, I was very lucky to get a lot of these in PR. I would definitely also recommend the Crown Legacy. This one is gorgeous as well. So if I would have to like throw in like kind of these three would be in my room. I do have the Gourmande Girls Trapped over there, but I haven't had a chance to try it. It is very much purple and green too. I will show it to you in just a second. And then I will also say now Emerald City, I feel like it is a really great color story as well, but this is just definitely more green and brown tones. Really gorgeous. I did purchase this for my own money. I do receive PR from them from time to time, but gorgeous. Gorgeous. So those are kind of like my recommendations in the purple green family. I feel like the Emerald City is just green, but I will show it. But if you're looking for like the Nomad and the Coalescence, I think it's hard for me to say. Nomad for sure. Oh my gosh, so gorgeous. This for sure. And like I said, I do love the Crown Legacy, but if I had to choose between Bella Beaute Bar and the Crown Legacy, I think I would go with the Bella Beaute Bar, honestly. So I feel like you can just get a little bit more options Out of those two particular palettes, they are around the same price point. And the Crown Legacy palette, you can actually get it shipped here from the United States, because that one is coming from the United States warehouse. Not the rest of the palettes from Glaminatrix, but just that one. And then once again, this is the Trapped palette by Gourmande Girls, and they have like another new release now too. And this is really gorgeous as well. Like right up my little alley. I can't tell you how it performs. I haven't had a chance to use it. I did swatch it and everything. It swatched really nicely, but you know, swatches only tell half of the story. Got this at the Creators and Friends event that I went to at the very beginning of September. Oh my God, it is now October. That's so crazy. It was like the second week of September. So this was in our bag. So everybody received this palette. So a huge thank you to Gourmande Girls. I definitely plan on trying it. So yes, let me know if you guys love the looks. I know a lot of you guys have already tried Bella Beaute Bar. I already got a comment like, wait, on my last video, like, you've never tried them. Like, no, I haven't, but no, I have, and I am impressed. I'm loving it. So leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite look was. This and my very first look. The first look here and this are my favorite looks thus far. Let me know what you think. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel, because you know I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. With that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chat Dash Challenge. Challenge. All right, y'all. Bye.